easily dismissed, quickly underestimated, cheaply overlooked. This is how quietly dangerous people prefer it. Loud competence announces itself, demands recognition, broadcasts credentials, seeks validation, requires audience, needs everyone to know how capable it is. Quiet competence operates invisibly, builds in silence, executes without announcement, delivers without drama, proves itself through results, not rhetoric. Most people confuse quiet with weak. They assume the person not constantly advertising capability lacks capability. They mistake restraint for limitation. They overlook the quiet ones entirely. This is exactly what quietly dangerous people want, because invisible competence is the most powerful form of competence. It operates without resistance. It accumulates advantage without triggering competition. It positions without creating enemies. It dominates without anyone realizing domination is happening. This audiobook reveals exactly how to become quietly dangerous through invisible competence, not through hiding your skills, through building capabilities so deep that demonstration is unnecessary, through operating at a level where your work speaks louder than you ever could, through cultivating power that does not need to announce itself. You will learn how elite performers build competence that operates beneath visibility, how they accumulate skills without broadcasting progress, how they position themselves as indispensable without self-promotion, how they become dangerous precisely because no one sees them coming. Stop announcing your competence. Start building invisible capability. Become quietly dangerous. Now, introduction. The paradox of invisible power. There are two types of competent people. The first type is loudly competent. They have real skills, real knowledge, real capability, and they ensure everyone knows it. They talk about their achievements, display their credentials, reference their experience, signal their expertise constantly. Their competence is visible, announced, performed. The second type is quietly competent. They have deeper skills, broader knowledge, greater capability, and almost no one realizes it. They do not talk about achievements. They do not display credentials. They do not reference experience. They do not signal expertise. Their competence is invisible until the moment it is deployed. Here is what you need to understand. Quiet competence is more powerful than loud competence in almost every context that matters. Loud competence activates resistance. When you constantly announce capability, people will become defensive. They feel threatened. They look for ways to undermine you. They search for evidence that you are not as capable as you claim. They become invested in your failure. Quiet competence eliminates resistance. When people underestimate you, they do not defend against you. They do not feel threatened. They do not undermine. They do not search for your weaknesses. They ignore you entirely, until you have already won. This is the paradox of invisible power. The less you advertise capability, the more freely you can exercise it. The quieter you are about competence, the more dangerous that competence becomes. Most people never understand this paradox. They believe competence must be visible to be valuable. They think capability that goes unrecognized is wasted. They confuse announcement with achievement. Quietly dangerous people understand differently. They know that invisible competence compounds faster than visible competence, that underestimation is strategic advantage, that the person no one sees coming wins. There are 7 principles of becoming quietly dangerous through invisible competence. 7 ways to build capability that operates beneath visibility while accumulating overwhelming advantage. These are not theories. These are practical approaches used by people who dominate without anyone realizing domination is occurring. People who accumulate power while appearing modest. People who become indispensable while seeming ordinary. Let's examine each principle. Principle 1. Build deep competence without broadcasting progress. The first principle of quiet danger is building genuinely deep competence while keeping your development process invisible. Most people broadcast every step of their competence development. They announce when they start learning something new. They share progress updates. They post about courses completed. They signal effort constantly. They want everyone to know they are improving. This visibility has costs. It invites judgment on incomplete work. It creates pressure to progress on others' timelines. It generates skepticism when results do not appear immediately. It establishes expectations you might not meet. Quietly dangerous people build competence in silence. They learn without announcing they are learning. They practice without sharing practice sessions. They develop skills until those skills are undeniable, then deploy them as if they always existed. Here is how to build deep, invisible competence deliberately. First, separate learning from performing. Most people learn in public. They practice where others can see. They develop skills while being evaluated on those developing skills. Quietly dangerous people create separation. They learn in private, practice in isolation, develop skills in contexts where no one is evaluating. Only when capability reaches high level do they perform publicly. This separation eliminates the vulnerability of visible development. No one judges your early awkward attempts. No one questions whether you will succeed. No one forms opinions based on incomplete capability. You only become visible when competence is already formed. Second, embrace long invisible development periods. Most people want quick visible progress. They need others to see improvement happening. They cannot tolerate extended periods where no one recognizes their development. Quietly dangerous people embrace invisibility during development. They will spend months or years building capability that no one knows about. They are comfortable being underestimated during the development phase because they know what is coming. This patience creates dramatic reveals. You were dismissed as ordinary. Then suddenly, you demonstrate capability that seems to have appeared from nowhere. The gap between perception and reality is massive. That gap is power. Third, build foundational competence others skip. Most people chase visible, impressive skills. They want to learn things that look good, that generate recognition, that others will notice and praise. Quietly dangerous people build invisible foundations. The boring fundamental capabilities that are not impressive to observers, but that create leverage for everything else. Deep technical knowledge, systematic thinking, fundamental principles mastered completely. These foundations are invisible because they are not performative. No one applauds you for understanding first principles, but those principles make advanced application effortless. While others struggle with surface-level execution, you operate from deep understanding. Fourth, let your work reveal competence, never your words. Most people talk about their capabilities before demonstrating them. They explain what they can do. They describe their skills. They verbally establish expertise. Quietly dangerous people never describe capability. They demonstrate it. They do not say, I am good at X. They simply do X at exceptionally high level. The work speaks. Words are unnecessary. This approach is more credible. Anyone can claim capability. Only the truly capable can demonstrate it. When you let work speak instead of words, there is no gap between claim and reality. The competence is undeniable. Fifth, accumulate diverse hidden skills. Most people specialize visibly. Everyone knows what they do. Their expertise is clear and bounded. They are known for one thing. Quietly dangerous people accumulate diverse capabilities that remain hidden until needed. They have skills no one knows about. Knowledge in domains unrelated to their visible role. Capabilities they never mentioned because no situation required them yet. When unexpected situations arise, they casually reveal capability that no one knew existed. This creates perception of unlimited depth. People think, what else can they do that we do not know about? That uncertainty is power. Here is what makes invisible competence building sustainable. It removes external pressure. You are not performing for audience. You are not meeting others' expectations. You are simply building genuine capability at your own pace according to your own standards. This creates intrinsic motivation. Your development is for you, not for recognition. When competence finally becomes visible, it is complete and undeniable, not aspirational or in progress. Finished. Practice invisible competence building deliberately. Separate learning from performing. Embrace long development invisibility. Build boring foundations others skip. Let work reveal competence, never words. Accumulate diverse hidden skills. Become deeply competent while remaining underestimated. This is the first principle of quiet danger. Principle 2. Execute flawlessly without explaining your methods. The second principle of quiet danger is executing at exceptional level while keeping your methods invisible and unexplained. Most people explain how they do things. When they succeed, they share their process. They teach their methods. They reveal their systems. They want recognition not just for outcomes, but for the clever approach that produced outcomes. This revelation eliminates advantage. Once you explain your methods, others can copy them. Your unique approach becomes common practice. Your edge disappears. Quietly dangerous people execute flawlessly, but never explain how. They deliver exceptional results consistently, but the process remains mysterious. People see outcomes. They do not understand methods. The capability appears magical rather than systematic. Here is how to execute with invisible methods deliberately. First, develop systematic approaches you never articulate. Most people either have no system, they wing it, or they have systems they proudly share. Quietly dangerous people build rigorous systematic approaches to everything they do well. but they never articulate those systems to others. The system exists. It produces consistency, but it remains proprietary. This creates perception of natural talent rather than learned skill. People think you are just naturally good at something. They do not realize you have built careful systematic approach. They cannot replicate what they cannot see. Second, deflect questions about process with focus on outcomes. When people ask how you did something, most people answer thoroughly. They explain their process step by step. They are happy to share. Quietly dangerous people deflect. I just focused on getting it right. Lots of attention to detail. Made it a priority. These answers are true but reveal nothing about actual methods. The conversation returns to outcomes, not process. This protects methods while appearing modest. You are not refusing to share, which would seem defensive. You are simply not elaborating. The methods remain invisible. Third, make exceptional execution appear effortless. Most people reveal effort. They want credit for how hard something was. They explain the challenges they overcame. They make sure everyone knows the work behind results. Quietly dangerous people make exceptional execution look easy. The result appears smooth and natural. No visible struggle, no drama, just clean, flawless execution that seems to require minimal effort. This understates difficulty while overstating capability. If something appears easy to you, people assume either the task was simple, it was not, or you are extraordinarily capable, you are, but more than they realize. Either way, methods remain invisible. Fourth, build redundant invisible quality checks. Most people have one quality level. They do their work, review it once, ship it. If quality is high, it is visible luck or visible extreme effort. Quietly dangerous people build invisible quality systems. Multiple review passes, systematic error checking, redundant verification, quality assurance processes no one sees but that ensure flawless output consistently. The consistency appears to be natural high standards. People do not realize there is systematic process ensuring that standard is met. The methods are invisible. The quality is undeniable. Fifth, let others theorize incorrectly about your success. When you succeed consistently, people will develop theories about how you do it. Most people correct these theories. They want credit for actual methods. Quietly dangerous people let incorrect theories persist. If people think you succeed through luck, connections, natural talent, or simple hard work, let them think that. Their incorrect theories protect your actual methods. As long as they are theorizing incorrectly, they cannot replicate. Your competitive advantage persists. Their misunderstanding is your moat. Here is what makes invisible methods sustainable. They create durable advantage. When your methods are invisible, others cannot copy them. When others cannot copy them, your exceptional execution remains differentiated indefinitely. You do not need to keep improving methods to stay ahead. You just need to keep them invisible while others chase wrong explanations for your success. Practice invisible method execution deliberately. Develop systems you never articulate. Deflect process questions toward outcomes. Make exceptional execution appear effortless. Build redundant invisible quality checks. Let incorrect theories persist. Execute flawlessly while keeping methods mysterious. This is the second principle of quiet danger. Principle 3. Accumulate power through relationships, not credentials. The third principle of quiet danger is building power through invisible relationship capital rather than visible credentials. Most people accumulate visible markers of competence, degrees, certifications, titles, awards, public recognition. They build credential-based authority that everyone can see. Credentials are valuable, but they have limitations. They are visible to everyone, including competitors. They create expectations and pressure. They can be matched or exceeded by others accumulating similar credentials. Quietly dangerous people build invisible relationship-based power. They accumulate trust with key individuals. They create value for people who matter. They build reputational capital that exists in networks, but is not visible on resumes. This relationship power is more durable and more valuable than credential power. Here is how to accumulate invisible relationship power deliberately. First, provide value to key people without seeking recognition. Most people provide value transactionally. They help and then want credit. They do favors and expect acknowledgement. Quietly dangerous people provide value invisibly. They help key people solve problems. They make useful introductions. They share valuable information, all without asking for public credit or recognition. This builds deep invisible obligation. The person you helped remembers. They feel they owe you, but because the help was private, there is no public record. Others do not know about the capital you have accumulated. Second, Build trust through demonstrated reliability over years. Most people try to build trust quickly through impressive displays of competence. They want immediate credibility. Quietly dangerous people build trust slowly through boring reliability. They do what they say they will do, every time, for years, with no fanfare. This creates deep trust that credentials cannot provide. Anyone can claim capability. Only the genuinely reliable can demonstrate it through consistent behavior over extended time. That trust becomes invisible power. Third, become the person key people call for confidential challenges. Most people want to be known publicly as experts. They want reputation that spreads widely. Quietly dangerous people become private resources for key individuals. When someone faces sensitive challenge that cannot be discussed publicly, they call you. When someone needs advice they do not want anyone else to know they sought, they trust you. This private advisor status is invisible but extremely powerful. You have access and influence that no credential provides. You know things others do not know. You shape decisions that never appear public. Fourth, accumulate weak TIs across distant networks. Most people build strong TIs within their immediate network. They know their colleagues well, but their network is bounded. Quietly dangerous people accumulate weak TIs across distant networks. They know people in completely different industries, different geographies, different contexts. These weak TIs are invisible to anyone in their primary network. When unexpected opportunities or challenges arise, these distant weak TIs become valuable. You can access resources and information others cannot. Your network appears ordinary, but is actually vast and diverse. Fifth, never discuss your relationships as source of power. Most people name drop. They reference their important connections. They want credit for knowing influential people. Quietly dangerous people never discuss relationships as power source. If they mention knowing someone, it is casual and contextual, never as credential or flex. This protects relationship capital. When people do not know about your connections, they cannot try to access those connections through you. The relationships remain genuinely reciprocal rather than being degraded into networking assets. Here is what makes relationship power sustainable. It is invisible to competitors and cannot be easily replicated. Credentials can be matched. Others can get same degree, same certification, but they cannot build your specific relationships. Those took years and are unique to you. Practice invisible relationship power accumulation deliberately. Provide value without seeking recognition. Build trust through boring reliability over years. Become private resource for confidential challenges. Accumulate weak TIs across distant networks. Never discuss relationships as power. Build power through invisible capital, not visible credentials. This is the third principle of quiet danger. Principle 4. Maintain strategic ambiguity about your capabilities. The fourth principle of quiet danger is maintaining deliberate ambiguity about the full extent of your capabilities. Most people try to make their capabilities completely clear. They want everyone to understand exactly what they can do. They define their expertise boundaries. They are transparent about strengths and limitations. This clarity seems honest, but it also constrains. Once you have clearly defined your capabilities, people fit you into that definition. They know what to expect from you. They know your limits. Quietly dangerous people maintain strategic ambiguity. People are never completely sure of the full extent of capabilities. There is always question. What else can they do? How deep does their knowledge actually go? What are they capable of that we have not seen yet? This uncertainty creates power through unpredictability. Here is how to maintain strategic capability ambiguity deliberately. First, never comprehensively list what you can do. Most people, especially in professional contexts, create complete lists of skills. Resume bullet points, LinkedIn profiles, capability statements that exhaustively describe what they can do. Quietly dangerous people provide examples rather than comprehensive lists. They mention specific things they have done without claiming those represent the full scope. People never quite know if they have seen your complete capability set or just samples. This creates perception of hidden depth. Maybe you can do more. Maybe you have capabilities that just have not come up yet. That maybe is power. Second, occasionally demonstrate capability in unexpected domain. Most people stay within known expertise. They do what people expect them to do. Quietly dangerous people occasionally casually reveal capability in completely unexpected domain. Mid-conversation, they demonstrate knowledge about something no one knew they understood. Or they solve problem in area people assumed was outside their expertise. These unexpected demonstrations expand perceived capability. If you know about this thing no one expected, what else do you know? The boundaries of your expertise become unclear. People start assuming broader capability than they can verify. Third, use questions more than statements when discussing domains. Most people demonstrate knowledge through statements. They tell you what they know. They make claims. They assert expertise. Quietly dangerous people demonstrate knowledge through questions. They ask questions that reveal deep understanding. Questions that show they grasp subtleties. Questions that only someone with real expertise would think to ask. Questions maintain ambiguity while signaling depth. You are not claiming expertise. You are just asking insightful questions. But those questions reveal you understand more than you are stating. Fourth, let partial demonstrations suggest complete mastery. Most people demonstrate full capability to prove competence. If they can do X, they show the entire process from start to finish. Quietly dangerous people show partial demonstrations. They casually handle the hardest part of something, or they quickly solve the aspect others struggle with, but they do not demonstrate the complete skill end to end. The partial demonstration suggests complete mastery. If they can handle the hard part that casually, they obviously can handle the easy parts. But you never saw complete demonstration. Ambiguity remains about full extent of capability. Fifth, respond to limits questions with, I have not had reason to test that yet. When people ask about limits of your capability, most people give clear answers. I can do X but not Y. I am good at A but weak at BN. Quietly dangerous people avoid defining limits explicitly. I have not had reason to test that yet is perfect response. It neither claims capability nor admits limitation. Maybe you can do it, maybe you cannot. The answer preserves ambiguity. Over time, as you occasionally reveal new capabilities, this ambiguity becomes assumed depth. People default to thinking you probably can do something unless proven otherwise. That is power. Here is what makes strategic ambiguity sustainable. It is psychologically difficult to attack. People cannot challenge capabilities they are not sure you are claiming. They cannot expose limitations they are not certain exist. Ambiguity creates defensive advantage. Clear claims invite testing and challenge. Ambiguous capability is hard to test or challenge. Practice strategic capability ambiguity deliberately. Never comprehensively list skills. Occasionally demonstrate unexpected domain capability. Use questions more than statements. Let partial demonstrations suggest complete mastery. Avoid defining limits explicitly. Keep full extent of capabilities uncertain. This is the fourth principle of quiet danger. Principle 5. Operate beneath recognition thresholds. The fifth principle of quiet danger is deliberately operating beneath the threshold where recognition, competition, and resistance activate. Most people want to be noticed. They believe visibility equals value. They seek recognition for achievements. They want their contributions acknowledged. They aim to be obviously successful. Visibility triggers response. When you operate visibly, you activate competition. Others see what you are doing and try to do it better. You create enemies who want to take you down. You generate skepticism and resistance. Quietly dangerous people operate beneath recognition thresholds. They accomplish significant things while remaining just under the visibility line where these responses activate. They are successful enough to gain advantage, but not visible enough to trigger competitive response. Here is how to operate beneath recognition thresholds deliberately. First, accomplish goals before announcing them. Most people announce ambitious goals. They want accountability. They want support. They want recognition for attempting something difficult. Quietly dangerous people accomplish goals before mentioning them. They do the difficult thing quietly. Only after success is complete do they casually reference having done it. There is no dramatic goal announcement, no public journey, just quiet completion. This prevents competitive interference. No one can undermine a goal they do not know you are pursuing. No one can talk you out of something they do not know you are attempting. By the time anyone realizes what you did, it is already done. Second, accept credit that is offered. Never seek credit that is not. Most people actively seek recognition for their contributions. They make sure everyone knows what they did. They want credit. Quietly dangerous people accept credit when naturally offered but never pursue it. If someone recognizes contribution, they acknowledge it simply. If no one notices contribution, they do not point it out. This keeps them beneath recognition threshold while still accumulating quiet reputation. People who do notice remember. People who do not notice remain unaware. The recognition stays selective rather than universal. Third, let others take credit for ideas you originated. Most people protect ownership of ideas. When they have a good idea and someone else presents it, they correct the record. They claim origination. Quietly dangerous people let ideas flow without ownership. If they share idea with someone and that person presents it as their own, they do not object. The idea spreads. The outcome happens. Ownership is irrelevant. This seems like losing, but it builds invisible influence. Your ideas shape outcomes without your name attached. People do not realize how much you are influencing because the influence is invisible. That is power. Fourth, maintain deliberately modest public profile. Most people build public profiles proportional to actual achievement. As they succeed more, their public presence expands to match. Quietly dangerous people maintain public profiles well below actual achievement level. They could have much bigger public presence given what they have accomplished. They deliberately keep it modest. This preserves underestimation advantage. People judge you based on modest public profile. They do not realize actual capability or achievement is far beyond that profile. By the time they discover reality, you have already won whatever matters. Fifth, find satisfaction in knowing rather than being known. Most people need others to know about their success. The success feels incomplete without recognition. Quietly dangerous people find satisfaction in the knowledge itself. They know what they accomplished. They know their actual capability. They know the advantage they have accumulated. That knowledge is enough. This internal satisfaction eliminates need for external recognition. You can operate beneath visibility thresholds indefinitely because recognition is not required for fulfillment. Here is what makes operating beneath recognition sustainable. It eliminates the exhausting work of visibility maintenance. You are not performing for audience. You are not managing reputation. You are simply doing effective work without the overhead of visibility. This creates efficiency. All energy goes to actual capability and achievement. None is wasted on recognition management. Practice operating beneath thresholds deliberately. Accomplish before announcing. Accept credit offered. Never seek credit denied. Let others take credit for your ideas. Maintain modest public profile. Find satisfaction in knowing, not being known. Stay below visibility line while accumulating invisible advantage. This is the fifth principle of quiet danger. Principle 6. Eliminate performance of competence. The sixth principle of quiet danger is completely eliminating the performance aspect of competence and focusing purely on substance. Most people perform competence. They signal expertise. They use jargon to sound knowledgeable. They reference credentials. They adopt authoritative tone. They dress the part. They behave in ways that communicate, I am competent. This performance is exhausting, and it often substitutes for actual competence. People spend so much energy performing expertise that they neglect building real expertise. Quietly dangerous people eliminate all performance. They never signal competence. They never try to sound expert. They speak simply. They dress ordinarily. They make no effort to appear impressive. Their entire focus is on actual substance, zero energy on performance. Here is how to eliminate competence performance deliberately. First, use simple language regardless of technical depth. Most people use complex language to signal expertise. They use jargon, technical terms, complex sentence structures. They believe sophisticated language demonstrates sophisticated thinking. Quietly dangerous people use simple language even when discussing extremely complex topics. They explain difficult concepts in plain words. They avoid jargon unless it is necessary for precision, not for signaling. This makes their expertise more accessible while understating it. If you can explain something complex simply, you understand it deeply. But the simple explanation makes it seem less impressive than jargon-filled explanation. You are more competent than you appear. Second, dress and present below your actual status level. Most people dress and present to match or exceed their status. They want to look the part. They signal success through appearance. Quietly dangerous people dress and present below status level. They look ordinary, modest, and remarkable. They make zero effort to signal status or success through appearance. This preserves underestimation while eliminating performance overhead. No one takes you seriously based on appearance. They must encounter your actual competence to realize capability. By then, it is too late to underestimate. Third, never name drop or credential signal. Most people reference impressive experiences. When I was at Harvard, in my work with Fortune 500 companies, they use associations to borrow credibility. Quietly dangerous people never name drop. If they went to prestigious school, they do not mention it unless directly asked. If they worked with impressive organizations, they do not reference it conversationally. Their credentials are invisible unless you specifically investigate. This forces people to evaluate you based on substance alone. They cannot shortcut judgment by relying on credentials. They must engage with your actual thinking and work. That engagement reveals more accurate competence assessment. Fourth, demonstrate through action, never through explanation. Most people explain their competence verbally. I have expertise in X. I am very good at Y. They verbally establish capability before demonstrating it. Quietly dangerous people never verbally establish competence. They simply act. They do the thing at high level. The demonstration is complete. No explanation needed. This creates undeniable proof. Verbal claims can be doubted. Demonstrations cannot. When you simply do something exceptionally well without preamble, the competence is unquestionable. Fifth, be comfortable appearing uncertain or ignorant about things outside your deep expertise. Most people feel pressure to appear knowledgeable about everything. If topic comes up they do not understand, they fake understanding. They cannot admit ignorance. Quietly dangerous people freely admit when something is outside their knowledge. I do not know much about that. That is not my area. They are completely comfortable appearing ignorant in domains where they genuinely are ignorant. This honesty strengthens credibility in their actual expertise domain. If you freely admit ignorance where it exists, people trust your claims of knowledge where you make them. You are not pretending. You are honest about boundaries. Here is what makes performance elimination sustainable. It is psychologically liberating. You stop trying to appear competent and just focus on being competent. The cognitive load of performance disappears. All energy flows to substance. Over time, this creates actual competence advantage. While others are performing expertise, you are building expertise. The gap compounds. Practice performance elimination deliberately. Use simple language for complex topics. Dress below status level. Never name drop or credential signal. Demonstrate through action only. Admit ignorance outside expertise domains. Eliminate all performance of competence. This is the sixth principle of quiet danger. Principle 7. Build anti-fragile reputation through consistent understatement. The seventh and final principle of quiet danger is building reputation that becomes stronger when tested by deliberately understating capability and over-delivering on every commitment. Most people build fragile reputations. They make big promises, set high expectations, then deliver results that hopefully meet those expectations. When they succeed, reputation is maintained. When they fail, reputation is damaged. This is fragile. Any failure hurts. You are always at risk of overpromising and under-delivering. Quietly dangerous people build anti-fragile reputations. They understate capability, set modest expectations, then deliver results that far exceed expectations every single time. When things go well, they exceeded expectations. When things go badly, they still met or exceeded expectations because expectations were modest. The reputation strengthens in both good and bad conditions. This is anti-fragility. Here is how to build anti-fragile reputation through understatement deliberately. First, make promises you are certain you can exceed. Most people make ambitious promises to impress. They commit to best-case outcomes. They want credit for attempting difficult things. Quietly dangerous people only promise what they are certain they can deliver, then deliver more. They commit to modest outcomes they know they will exceed. The promise sets low bar. The delivery clears that bar significantly. This creates consistent positive surprise. You always deliver more than promised. People learn to trust your commitments completely while being pleasantly surprised by actual results. Second, estimate timeframes conservatively, then deliver early. Most people give optimistic time estimates. They want to appear fast and efficient. They commit to aggressive timelines. Quietly dangerous people give conservative time estimates. If they think something will take 3 days, they commit to 5 days. Then they deliver in 3. This makes every delivery feel ahead of schedule. You are consistently early. This reinforces reputation for reliability and efficiency despite conservative estimates. Third, downplay difficulty of challenges, then handle them smoothly. Most people emphasize how difficult challenges are. They want credit for handling hard things. They make sure everyone knows the obstacles they overcame. Quietly dangerous people downplay difficulty. Should be manageable. I will take care of it. Then they handle genuinely difficult challenges smoothly without drama. This makes difficult seem easy. People think either the challenge was not that hard it was, or you are exceptionally capable you are. Your reputation for handling difficulty strengthens while you understate capability. Fourth, acknowledge limitations genuinely, then exceed them when it matters. Most people never acknowledge limitations. They want to appear unlimited capability. They hide weaknesses. Quietly dangerous people acknowledge limitations honestly. I am not strongest in this area. This is outside my primary expertise. They set modest expectations about their capability in that domain. Then when situation requires it, They perform in that domain better than their modest statement suggested. They were honest about limitation, but conservative about degree of limitation. The result exceeds expectation. Fifth, let others defend your reputation. Never defend it yourself. Most people defend their own reputation. When questioned or criticized, they respond. They correct misperceptions. They argue for their capability. Quietly dangerous people never defend their own reputation. If someone questions their capability, they do not argue. They simply continue delivering excellent results. Others who have worked with them defend the reputation. Third-party defense is more credible than self-defense. When others defend your reputation based on their experience working with you, that defense is believable. When you defend your own reputation, it seems self-serving. Here is what makes anti-fragile reputation sustainable. It compounds through every interaction. Each time you understate and over-deliver, reputation strengthens. Each time expectations are exceeded, trust deepens. Over years, this creates reputation for absolute reliability combined with surprising capability. People know they can trust your commitments completely, and they learn to expect that actual results will exceed what you promised. This reputation is anti-fragile because it survives and strengthens through challenges. Even when things go wrong, you still delivered on your modest promise. The reputation persists. Practice anti-fragile reputation building deliberately. Promise only what you can exceed. Estimate timeframes conservatively. Deliver early. Downplay difficulty. Handle smoothly. Acknowledge limitations genuinely. Exceed them when needed. Let others defend reputation. Build reputation that strengthens through understatement. This is the seventh principle of quiet danger, the sustainable power of invisible competence. You now understand the 7 principles of becoming quietly dangerous through invisible competence. Build deep competence without broadcasting progress. Execute flawlessly without explaining methods. Accumulate power through relationships, not credentials. Maintain strategic ambiguity about capabilities. Operate beneath recognition thresholds. Eliminate performance of competence. Build anti-fragile reputation through consistent understatement. These are not tactics for hiding incompetence. These are frameworks for maximizing the power of genuine deep competence by keeping it invisible until the moment of deployment. Here is what you must understand. Quiet danger is more sustainable than loud competence. Loud competence burns energy on performance, visibility management, and defending reputation. Quiet competence invests all energy in building substance. Over time, this efficiency gap compounds into overwhelming capability advantage. Loud competence activates resistance, competition, and skepticism. Quiet competence operates beneath these responses. You accumulate advantage while others do not realize they should be competing with you. Loud competence is fragile. Any failure damages carefully constructed visible reputation. Quiet competence is anti-fragile. Underestimation combined with consistent delivery strengthens reputation through every interaction. Most people will never become quietly dangerous because they need recognition. They need others to know about their capability. They need validation. They confuse visibility with value. This need for recognition is their limitation. It prevents them from accessing the superior power of invisible competence. You can choose differently. You can build competence that operates beneath visibility. You can accumulate power that no one realizes you have accumulated. You can become dangerous precisely because no one sees you as threat until it is too late. Here is how to begin becoming quietly dangerous immediately. Choose 2 principles to focus on this month, not all 7. 2. The ones that feel most aligned with your natural tendencies while pushing you beyond current comfort. For each principle, implement one specific practice this week. Build invisible competence. Start learning one valuable skill without telling anyone. Execute with invisible methods. Deliver one project exceptionally well. Deflect all process questions. Relationship power. Provide significant value to one key person without seeking recognition. Strategic ambiguity. When someone asks about your capabilities, give example instead of comprehensive list. Operate beneath thresholds. Accomplish one goal before announcing it to anyone. Eliminate performance. For 1 week, use simplest possible language regardless of topic complexity. Anti-fragile reputation. Make one promise you are certain you can exceed, then exceed it significantly. 1 practice per principle. 2 principles total. This week. Next week, continue those practices and add new ones. These practices compound. In 1 month, you will operate more quietly while building faster. In 3 months, people will start noticing your results while remaining confused about your capabilities. In 1 year, you will be dangerous in ways no one understands. This is not theory. This is practical shift from visible competence to invisible competence, from loud capability to quiet danger. The power is not in what people know about you. The power is in what they underestimate, in the gap between perception and reality, in the competence they do not see coming. Stop performing competence. Start building invisible capability. Stop announcing achievement. Start delivering unexpected results. Stop seeking recognition. Start accumulating power. Become quietly dangerous through invisible competence. Operate beneath recognition while exceeding all expectations. Build depth no one sees until the moment it matters. Then deploy that competence so decisively that by the time anyone realizes what happened, you have already won. Begin now. If you made it to the end of this audiobook, you are serious about building real capability. Most people stop halfway through. You stayed. That tells me something about your commitment to becoming better. This is exactly the kind of person this channel is built for. People who want substance over motivation, systems over inspiration, deep frameworks over surface tactics. If that resonates with you, subscribe to this channel. Every audiobook here follows the same principle. Real capability development through practical frameworks you can apply immediately. No fluff, no motivation or empty calories, just systematic approaches to becoming genuinely better. New audiobooks on competence, discipline, influence, and strategic thinking publish regularly. Subscribe so you do not miss them. And if this audiobook added value, leave a comment sharing which principle or framework you will implement first. Your engagement helps these audiobooks reach other serious people who will actually use this information. Thank you for listening all the way through. Now go build what you learned.